Chloe, yesterday you were drooling all over my hypercar, leaving your greasy fingerprints all over the window. The depreciation cost for that is 200 grand. Haven't you gotten the money from your sugar daddy yet? Or did you not? Service him properly. Jax dismantled her act without a shred of mercy. Chloe's face went white. She swayed on her feet, terrified. What was this lunatic saying? Had he found something out? No, that was impossible. Landon, ever the loyal protector, rushed to support Chloe's arm. At a signal from him, Liam charged forward, fist raised, to punch Jax. This kid was too arrogant. He needed to be taught a lesson. But just as Liam's fist flew, Jax, as if anticipating it, grabbed a metal chair with one hand and swung it at his head. Liam froze in terror. The chair whistled past his ear and crashed to the floor. His soul had left his body. Jax was certifiably insane. Liam, you poor bastard, Jax said, his voice dripping with mock pity. Did you know Landon's been sleeping with your girlfriend while you're out here doing his dirty work? Oh, wasn't your ex-girlfriend a sophomore? I saw Landon taking her to a lingerie store to buy some sexy outfits when I was working my part-time job. And Landon, you're something else. Why do you keep picking on poor Liam here? Do you have a special kink for poaching from the same guy's territory? Jax had no intention of actually fighting. The administrators were still here. He had to maintain his obedient student council president persona. Now it was Landon's turn to be stunned. Just a moment ago, he was holding the campus belle's arm, thinking he'd won the prize, only to be shoved away by a disgusted Chloe. His heart shattered. The next second, he met Liam's accusing gaze. He cursed under his breath. Jax, you dare set me up? I'll kill you. Whoa, you're getting angry. You're getting angry. Jax said in a sing-song, taunting voice. Hey, green hat guy, he's lost his cool. Looks like being exposed as an adulterer really hit a nerve. After delivering the final verbal blow, Jax darted behind the department head, Professor Young. With the professor's authority as a shield, Landon wouldn't dare touch him. The board members watched the conference room descend into chaos, with the instigator using them as human shields. This Jax was hard to figure out. Meanwhile, Liam and Landon were already throwing punches. Whatever their beef was, they were now guaranteed to be disciplined for fighting in front of so many university officials. And through it all, Jax had only moved his lips. No one noticed, but a flicker of appreciation had appeared in Dean Evans's eyes as he watched Jax. Someone call security? Hurry, call security. Professor Young yelled. Jax piped up, Dean, security will be too slow. By the time they get here, these two will be in the ICU. How about we offer extra credit for breaking up the fight? That would be more efficient. The professor rubbed his forehead. Fine. Whoever separates them. I'll give him extra. Before he could finish the word credit, Jax had already charged into the brawl. Crack. The sharp sound of a bone breaking echoed through the room. Everyone stared. Why did the screams get louder after the peacemaker jumped in? The Astor Corporation. Located in a skyscraper in the heart of New York City's most prime commercial district, it looked down upon a bustling CBD. From the floor-to-ceiling windows of the top floor, the people below looked like ants. Ms. Astor, that's the 72nd proposal you've rejected. Perhaps you should take a break. Nathan, her assistant, tried to make himself as small as possible. The office felt like an ice cave. Throughout the entire Astor building, employees were groaning in silent misery. Ms. Astor had always been a demanding boss, a true devil, but she'd never been this relentlessly punishing. Lilith leaned back in her chair, her figure a study in exquisite curves. Her skin was like the finest white porcelain, and her crimson lips sketched an air of rich, noble beauty. Yet her gorgeous, cold face radiated a profound weariness with the world. Nathan felt the pressure in the room was suffocating him. It was all Mr. Sterling's fault. He knew perfectly well that anything to do with the Astor family's past was the young Mrs. unspoken taboo, yet he had insisted on tap dancing on that minefield. Well, now he'd danced his way into becoming lion feed and left Nathan here to deal with this waking nightmare. Are you telling me what to do? Lilith's voice was dangerously soft. Are you trying to restrain me, too? She slowly lifted her eyelids, her entire being emanating a cold, unapproachable indifference. The dark, sunless fighting pit. A young girl, covered in blood, her eyes as cold and bloodthirsty as a wild beast's, pounces on a massive, snarling wolf king, its hide torn and bloody. Her hand plunges into a wound on the wolf's belly, and with a savage will, she pulls out layer after layer of nauseating entrails. The excited cheers of the crowd mix with the wolf king's foul, wet panting surrounding her. The sound of chains locking onto her wrists, the clang of chains against the cage bars, fills her mind. Suddenly, her mind goes blank. A large, warm hand gently brushes the sweat and blood-soaked hair from her forehead, revealing her gaunt, almost skeletal face. A man's deep voice, like a murmur from hell itself, says, "Number 77, you did it. Your father is proud of you." Would a father call his own daughter a string of numbers? Lilith feels every nerve pull tight, strangling her sanity. Something in her mind explodes. She looks down, and her eyes widen in horror. It's not a wolf at her feet, but a living, breathing person. His abdomen is torn open, and fragments of his insides are still lodged under her fingernails. So, she had killed a man. Lilith's pupils reflect the image of the corpse, but her emotions remain flat. Then, she smiles, her blood-stained lips curving into an innocent yet cruel arc. She leans down, her smile growing sweeter, and suddenly picks up a sickle that had been knocked away. Her eyes are full of tenderness. She raises her hand and plunges the blade deep into the man's neck. Blood spurts out, blossoming like crimson flowers on her pale face. Lilith cocks her head, giggling, as she murmurs, There, it doesn't hurt anymore. Once you're dead, the pain stops." This was a necessary part of the games, the finishing blow. She was a very good hunter. She knew the rules well. She wants to tear something apart. The proposal in Lilith's hand began to twist and deform. The woman's dark red hair seemed to writhe like a demon's, as if at any moment, a man-eating ghoul would rip through her beautiful skin and emerge to wreak havoc. "Nathan," she said, her voice a chilling whisper, "I want to kill someone again. Do you have a preferred way to die?" Nathan was paralyzed with fear. "Oh, sweet mother of God. SOS. Mr. Pierce, save my worthless life." He frantically started a video call to Jax. In a critical moment like this, what was Jax's face? It was a talisman from an old horror movie, a beacon of safety. Jax's phone, which had been completely without signal during his initial confinement, was now fully functional after he had started to appease Lilith. The moment he saw the call, he knew it had to be his Lily, missing him. He immediately declined Nathan's call. Nathan stared at his phone. A strange sense of calm, the calm of death, washed over him. The heart that had been dangling by a thread had, in the instant Jax hung up, finally snapped. Jax, taking advantage of the chaos in the conference room, while doctors tended to Landon and Liam, had slipped away to the rooftop of the administration building. He nervously dialed a familiar number. In the past, he never would have dared to call this number on his own. Even now, he felt an awkward hesitation. The call was answered almost instantly. Lilith's nerves were stretched taut, her brain feeling as if it were being pierced by 1,000 nails. But the moment she saw Jax's name on her screen, everything stopped. She unconsciously took a deep breath, the she-devil on the verge of losing control, suddenly frozen. Jax called her on his own initiative? Didn't he order her not to interfere with his business at the university? But despicable as she was, how could she not interfere? She had only granted him a brief period of freedom, so she could savor the price he would have to pay for it, making him willingly play the part of a loving husband with her. "Lily, I miss you." Lilith's cold pupils slowly moved. Her illness seemed to be getting worse. Just hearing his voice, made her want to possess him instantly. Coming back to herself, she belatedly registered what he had said. Jax just said, he missed her. "Lily, what do you want to eat tonight? I'll go to the supermarket and buy groceries as soon as I'm done with things here at the university." Jax continued, his voice gentle. "Don't worry, I'll be very, very quick." After so many years entangled with Lilith, it was impossible for Jax not to have developed a keen sense for danger. He immediately sensed that her mood was off. He cooed at her with a gentle, patient tone, but his heart was pounding. Lilith was sometimes easy to placate. Other times, it took a serious toll on his life force. Finally, Jax closed his eyes in resignation. "Fine, worst case scenario, I spend a few days in bed. I can't let my wife go hungry, can I? Jax, I really want." Jax's mind raced. "My wife is thirsty for me." Lilith's thoughts? "I really want to make human sculptures. Turn everyone who bullied my Jax into limbless, living statues. Lily, be good. Didn't we just eat?" Jax coaxed his volatile wife, a hint of unease on his face. Tonight we can." It was broad daylight, hardly the time to be discussing such things. Besides, just a short while ago in the car, his wife had nearly kissed him to the point of suffocation, his senses filled with her intoxicating scent. Even though his ammunition was spent, he couldn't help but feel a stir of desire. It was simple, really. Lilith was just too beautiful, and her body was incredible. Although his crazy, beautiful wife loved to take the lead in bed, he didn't always indulge her in that regard. Several times, he had turned the tables, leaving her looking up at him with half-lidded, appreciative eyes. Those were the moments he felt most proud as a man. Ahem, back on topic. Jax put on his most charming face to soothe his wife. Even without the hypercar, he had transformed into a strikingly handsome man, exuding an air of refined grace. After his rebirth, his confidence had soared. He was no longer the sycophantic loser trailing after Chloe. His whole demeanor had brightened, and anyone could see he was now radiant and full of life. Lilith watched the young man's sunny smile on her screen and felt as if she had been pulled back to the world of the living from a dark hell where she'd been negotiating with demons. She came back to herself, looking down at the pen she had snapped in two, its sharp tip buried deep in her fingertip. The smell of ink mixed with blood filled the office. Nathan quickly brought over a first aid kit and bandages. Working for Ms. Astor, these were essential supplies. Ms. Astor. Nathan started to offer help, but a cold glare from Lilith froze him in place. Jax, I miss you too, Lilith said, her voice clear and cool, but with an undercurrent of dependence. She truly missed him. The thought was so overwhelming that she felt an urge to bare her heart to him, quite literally. But that would scare him away. Her long, curled lashes cast shadows on her cheeks, making her look quiet and harmless. The dangerous crimson in her eyes was hidden away. At this moment, she looked as pitiable as a fragile doll. Nathan stared. WTF? Am I just another pawn in your twisted games? Only the blood on her wrist served as a reminder of the terrifying incident that had almost erupted in the office just moments before. The reborn Jax was increasingly aware of how different Lilith was. She was possessive and volatile, yes, but usually, if he just coaxed her a little, she became like an innocent little girl, easily satisfied and extremely dependent on him. It was strange at first, but gradually he found himself starting to like it, to like the vulnerability and dependence that Lilith showed only to him. You'll need money for groceries. I'll have Nathan unfreeze your supplementary gold card right away. Jax can buy whatever he wants, Lilith said crisply. I didn't know what kind of cars you liked before, so I bought one of every model and put them in the basement. If there's anything else you like now, you can go pick it out yourself. And your clothes, shoes, watches. You didn't seem to like what I picked out before. Let's buy all new things. Aside from her all-consuming, pathological need to lock Jax down, she had never been in a relationship. She didn't know how to please a man, how to make him happy. But she had heard that checkbook diplomacy could solve 99% of problems, so she was putting it into practice with Jax. Unfortunately, the old Jax had always been scornful of her efforts. No matter what she offered him, how much money she gave him, it was never as important as Chloe Vance or his freedom. But throwing money at him was the only way she knew. She remembered him once accusing her of not understanding what true affection was, and a quiet sadness had bloomed in her heart. She did have true affection. If Jax wanted, she would give him all her money, all her assets, even her life. Wasn't that a sign of true affection? Suddenly being showered with money by his crazy, beautiful CEO wife from across the city. Jax was momentarily stunned. He had to admit, though, it felt pretty damn good. But that supplementary gold card? Jax's mind reeled. Oh, right. I think I cut that one in half with a pair of scissors. It was probably for the best. As a man, he should be earning his own money to support his wife. He couldn't be a kept man forever. Besides, he had already found a way to make money. Ahem. No need for all that trouble. Jax grinned. Lily, I'm your man. I'm the one who should be spending money to make my wife happy. Don't worry, I have enough to feed you. And in the future, I'll earn lots and lots of money to buy you gifts. I'll work hard to stand by your side, so no one can ever say a bad word about you. He meant every word. He had already started taking action. In his past life, he had poured all his skills into supporting his 5 sisters, willingly becoming their resource engine. But this time, he was building his own career. Everything was for himself. And with the advantage of his foreknowledge, making money was going to be easy. Nathan expected Lilith to be moved by Jax's words. Whether they were true or not, at least he was stabilizing her mood. But to his surprise, Lilith let out a cold laugh. Jax, if anyone dares to speak ill of you, I'll cut out their tongue. Jax sighed. Leave it to my possessive girl to have such a unique perspective. Okay. No one's going to say anything. I just want to have my own career, so I could be a man who deserves you. My Lily is so amazing. I can't be a total loser. Jax's voice was gentle, like he was coaxing a child, with an unconscious, magnetic charm. Lilith stared at him, feeling like she could never get enough of looking at him. Whatever Jax makes, I'll love to eat. I'm not a picky eater at all. She was truly like a young girl in the first flush of love, her eyes sparkling with joy at his words. The dark clouds that had been hanging over the Astor Corporation all day finally began to part. Nathan's face was a mess of conflicting emotions. You're not picky? The only thing you don't eat is people. Maybe. He thought of the dissected, bloodied rabbits in the basement lab and the Gothic-style dolls in Lilith's room, with their uncannily human-like skin. He decided to offer a helpful tip. Sir, Miss, Aster likes beef.